In this week's Seder of Noach, Kadosh Baruch Hu commands Noach to build the Teva because the world is going to be destroyed. And he explains to him, "V'hakimosi esprisi itach, that I will establish my covenant with you. Uvasa ala teva, and you will enter the ark. Atah you, uvanecha, and your sons, ve'ishtecha, and your wife, uneshevanecha, and the wives of your sons, itach, with you." That's the order to be entered into the ark. And Rashi, citing the Gemara Sanhedrin, explains that the men were to enter separately than the women. Ha'anoshim levad v'hanoshim levad. Why? Mikan shenesru b'tash mishamita. In order for us to understand that upon the ark itself, for that year's time, there was a prohibition of any marital relations, not just between humans, but between the animals as well. Interesting. Because we know that when our world, a world Jewry, was effectively destroyed during Nazi Germany, Yamach Shema v'Zichram, following, during the aftermath of our liberation from that hellhole of existence, there was such a concerted effort to have kinderlich, to have more children, as many as people could have. People had so many children in their families. There was a rush to replace. There was a rush to bring forward that which was no longer. And all of us know that the naming of children during that era of post-1945, Klal Yisrael gave names, mixed names, one from the father's side, one from the mother's side, an aunt, an uncle, a great aunt, a great uncle, a grandparent, siblings, lo aleinu. Siblings that were never known by the children to yet be born, because they had belonged to the parents in a different world than that of Europe, which was a different world. And we tried to replace and to build them, to rebuild. So why is it that the Torah tells us, the Kadosh Baruch Hu said to Noah, be careful when you enter the Teva, no children? One would have thought that with all the destruction of the world, Noach and Naamah, and Shem and Chum and Yefes and their respective wives would have rushed forward to have as many children as can be, twins or triplets, whatever would be born from those unions. Why wasn't it the case? And I think that there's a simple reason. We're told by Yosef Atzadik to be laid in Miketz numerous weeks forward. We're told that Yosef Yilad Shnei Vonim B'terem Tavo Shnas Ra'av, that Yosef and Asnas had two sons, Ephraim and Menashe, albeit before the years of famine. And the reason that is the case, because the Gemara tells us in Tainus, one is not permitted to have children during years of famine. And the Torah Tamima there explains on the Pasuk in Miketz, because even the well-to-do, who aren't suffering from the famine in which everyone else is engulfed, why they too need to be mishtatef, they too need to participate and to show and to feel that sa'ar, the pain of others who are hit hard by the famine. And those who are hit hard by the famine cannot have children. They can't even feed the mouths that they have. They can't have more children. So even those who could have more children, bringing more children into the world, they should feel the pain and the suffering, the calamity of those who are less fortunate. And therefore, in years of famine, they too should not be procreating. Back to our Seder of Noach. By our Seder of Noach, one would have thought there should have been a rush to repopulate the world. The entire world was destroyed. Cousins and uncles and aunts, grandparents, neighbors, everyone was destroyed other than Noach and his family. Why wasn't there a rush to repopulate? Because the Kodesh Baruch Hu told us at the beginning of the Parsha, why is the world being destroyed? Because the world effectively was destroying itself. In what way? Says Rashi, because the people no longer had any regard or any respect for boundaries. There was no sense of the holiness of other individuals or relationships. And therefore there was erva. There was unbridled licentiousness, the taking of and engaging in relations with those for whom they were forbidden. That was not for their taking. And there was chamas and there was gezel, the desanctification of that which belonged to other people. There was no sanctity for life. There was no sanctity of boundaries. There was no sanctity or no regard for the relationships of others, husbands and wives, single daughters, married women. And therefore, Kadosh Baruch Hu saw that ki yishchis kol basar estarko al haaretz, all of human flesh, in people and in animals. There was no sense of understanding as to the holiness that had been invested in every human being, and even on a much lower level insofar as confining themselves to reproduction amongst themselves, their own kinds within the animal kingdom. And then HaKadosh Baruch Hu said, well, such life needs to be destroyed and eradicated from the earth. For such life was not what I intended, said HaKadosh Baruch Hu Kaviyachol. And not only is it to be eradicated, but it is never to be replaced, for there is no regard for such existence. And therefore, indeed, he instructs Noach, enter the teva, you, but very specifically, you and your sons, your wife and your sons' wives. Because there is not to be, not simply a rush towards reproducing that which has been lost, but there is to be no reproduction of that which has been lost. For they were not deserving of life, given their actions. And HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, wait till they are eradicated. Wait till I see effectively that it's time to take the covering off of the ark. And it's time for the ark to resettle upon terra firma. And it's time to have children and to repopulate the world with humans and with animals that are of a different kind. A thoroughly different kind. Not ungodly in nature, but rather godly infused. Shelling, destruction, killing of Hamas, of an ungodly nation that has shown very, very clearly that they have no regard for humanity, for holiness, for the divine spark that is to be found in each and every one of us. Eradication of any and every remnant is called for. That's the mabul. Full eradication without any reproduction or reproducing of such kind. Have a good show.